Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for tuning in. This is Avalon, our medicine woman and sound healer. And today we are going to get to know Avalon, get to know her story, get to know how she became a medicine woman, how she became a sound healer. And we're also going to talk about Rose and our beautiful Huachuma medicine. And the powerful benefits of working with Rose and Huachuma together. You ready?
Yay!
Amazing.
As ready as I can be.
All right. So first I'd like to get into just talking about Huachuma first. You know, what is Huachuma and what are the benefits of working with this powerful medicine?
So Huachuma is a masculine spirit, and that is the psychoactive component that allows his spirit to open up into your soul and to allow your soul to receive him and to go into your heart space. Huachuma has been around on this planet for a very long time. Scientifically, they have dated him to between 6 and 1000 BC. And they found these through cups of Huachuma tea and also through purges in people's purge. They found Huachuma. Huachuma was his origin point here on this planet. He comes from the Pleiades. His spirit is of the Pleiades, which is one of the reasons that he helps you connect to the stars. Mm-hmm. So they used him traditionally to find their leaders. Mm-hmm. To find not only their governmental leaders, but to find their religious leaders. Mm-hmm. I used to stutter, so sometimes I get caught on words, and that's been a beautiful healing for me too. Mm-hmm. Anyways, so they would come and they would sit, and they would drink with the people who wanted to be the leaders. And this is in Chavin. Mm-hmm. Chavin is the origin place of Huachuma.
And Chavin is north of the Sacred Valley, which is where we're located.
It's about 6 hours.
About 6 hours.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So it's 6 hours of Lima.
6 hours north of Lima.
Yes.
Either way, it's a native medicine to the Andes.
Yes. Mm-hmm. And so it was, they would come and they would drink right before the sun set. So they would see the sun setting and feel him setting in. And then they would have to enter the Chavin temple. Mm-hmm. And the Chavin temple is a giant maze. And these people who are wanting to come to be the great leaders had to trust Huachuma to show them the way. And first they would have to travel and find the center. And the only way that they were shown to be a true leader was if at the very beginning of the sunrise, if they could then find their way out alive. And that was how their leaders were chosen. And it was a very, very sacred ritual. And people who came for healing, they wouldn't even originally drink. Only the shamans would drink, and they would drink for that person. Mm-hmm. And they would go in and do that healing work astrally on all of the different sacred levels. Huachuma works in waves, and so typically people have 3, 4, 5 different waves. Mm-hmm. And his name is of Quechua origin. He's not meant to be called San Pedro.
Yeah, I agree.
His name is Huachuma. He was only called San Pedro when the Spaniards came in and took over, and the priests and the high people experienced him, and they saw that he opened the gateways to heaven, and so they had to give him a name that could be under their ideas and under their forms. But his spirit name here on this planet is Huachuma. And so you should honor that. It's a way of honoring his spirit. And that's very important. And so Huachuma also means decapitated head. And the reason for that is because he is the medicine of the heart. Huachuma is pure love. Pure love. And he disengages your mind so that you can go into your heart. Because our heart has our own sacred essence, our own sacred intelligence. So the first wave is usually Huachuma helping disengage your mind to go into your heart. The second wave is oftentimes then going in and allowing him only if you let him, because if you don't let him, he won't do it. He's not a disrespectful spirit, to go into your heart's intelligence. And we as human beings, we're designed to be operating from our hearts in intelligence. But we've forgotten that because we are in an age here where we live from the mind and we're meant to be living from the heart. And our heart is so exhausted. We're exhausted with all of the stresses, with all of the anxieties, with all of that lower, denser energy that we forget to operate from our heart. And so he goes in and then he starts allowing you to feel your heart and what needs to be healed there. And then usually the third and the fourth wave are going in to really actually work on what your intention is. Why did you come to him? What did you come to heal? He's not there to just be a psychoactive drug experience.
No.
Because he's not a drug. He is a medicine. And he is a sacred, very powerful spirit. And so then he gets into that work. And where does that work lie? Does that work lie in the physical pains of the body that we've manifested over time? Does that pain lie in the different emotions, our different angers, our different anxieties? He takes us into those different emotional processes because one of the gifts that he gives is to help us master our emotions. And so when you go in and you're feeling different feelings or emotions that are coming up, it's because he's helping you heal them. He's helping release the things that no longer serve. And then usually the fifth or sixth wave, if you get to that point, sometimes you're just going to stay in the wave of healing that needs to be done because he sees that and he's a very wise master. Then that's oftentimes when you start to connect with the bliss and the joy, that pure energetic love that we are meant to be. Being able to see Mother Earth, hear the bird's song, listen to the river. How does the water speak? When the wind blows, what does it have to say? He connects you with those pure essences, which are our rightful divine connection. But we've forgotten it. Because we're connected to our mind and we're not connected to our heart.
I always like to think of Huachuma as this incredible bridge where he just creates this beautiful umbilical cord from the center of your heart all the way down to the center of Mother Earth. He's so good at allowing you to just open and sync with her natural rhythms and cycles, which is so important for women especially, because that's our natural way of being. And like you were talking about earlier, just with how society has grown and the stresses of work and life, we've forgotten to come back to that natural way. And so for me personally, he's really helped me go even deeper into attuning into my own natural rhythms and cycles and seeing how I can match that with the Earth's seasons and cycles as well.
Absolutely.
So what are the physical benefits of Huachuma?
Huachuma is a master of healing.
Mm-hmm.
I know people who work and serve with him who brain cancers have been healed, diabetes, heart issues. Now those, you have to come down and be willing to work on a much deeper level.
Mm-hmm.
That's a dieta with him.
Mm-hmm.
That's going into very serious work. But he heals such deep physical ailments within the body.
Yeah.
His healing is limitless if you're willing to surrender to him. But that is a much deeper and longer process.
Yeah.
It's not a one ceremony fix all.
Right. That's a many ceremony fix all.
Yes.
But just to speak upon his power.
Yeah.
And how masterful he is in healing the physical body and bringing you back to your natural state of being.
There was a woman who when she came down with a very serious cancer, and she was coming down to die. Mm-hmm. And she thought, well, I'm just going to give this a try. And she went into a very long process with him, with the right maestro, And she, after her deep process with him, she came out and she went to the hospital here, and they could find no more remnants of it. But
amazing.
You have to be ready for that.
Right.
And you have to be willing to open your heart and your spirit and to dive deep, because there's so much emotional healing, physical healing, DNA healing of the lineage, because we carry our lineage within us. We carry our mothers, we carry our fathers, our great-grandfathers, our great-great-great-grandfathers, our great-great-great-grandmothers. And so their energies are also within our DNA. Mm-hmm. And he has the power to go in and to work with that and to say, this no longer serves.
Yeah.
This no longer has to be carried. You no longer have to pass this on in your lineage.
Powerful. So I want to ask, how did you step into this space as a medicine woman?
Very unexpectedly. Never in my wildest dreams had I thought that this was going to be my path. Mm-hmm. I grew up a super good Catholic girl. I have 2 brothers that are Catholic priests. And I had been healing. I was raped when I was 22, and I was a virgin, and I was raped by one of my best friends. And that changed my trajectory of life. That started me down paths of wounding, and me acting out from those paths of wounding because I didn't know how to heal it. And I had spent years trying to figure out how to let go of the wound.
Yeah.
And I was in my final year of Healing Touch, which is a energy practice, and I'm a licensed Healing Touch practitioner. And I was in my final year of study with that, and one of my deep, deep, wonderful friends, she came up, and she had lost one of her children, and it was such a deep pain. And she said, "Avalon, I'm gonna go to Peru, and I'm gonna drink this thing called ayahuasca." And of course, I was like, "What?" Like, you know, all those American fears, all that natural programming that we have came up. And so I just said, I pray that this works for you, and just please be safe. And I can't wait to hear about your journey. And when she came back, she had been able to see her daughter. She had been able to understand why it was time for her daughter to move on. And she was able to heal that wound. And so I thought, you know what? I'm going to give this a shot. I'm going to see if this can help me heal my wound. And within 1 month, I had found the place that I had wanted to go to. I researched many other places, but that one space just kept coming up and kept coming up. And I came down, and it was such a profound experience. And I received such deep healing because I was with good people. And a good maestro.
Yeah.
And she told me very directly at that point, she said, and it was huge, it was like an hour-long back and forth with her. She appeared as this big cartoon character, giant snake, black and white, and I was wearing, because I had been wearing a black and white shirt, with these huge learning glasses. And she said, you are going home, you're finishing your healing touch, and you're moving here. What did I say to you? And I said, I'm going home and I'm finishing my healing touch and I'm moving here. And we went back and forth, back and forth.
Wow, to anchor it in.
Because sometimes so much happens that you can't remember everything. And so I listened to that. And so the place that I was at the time, I asked them, I said, I'm going to go home and finish my healing touch. And would it be all right if I came down and volunteered in a year? And they said, yes, we would love to have you. And so I listened, and I was terrified. There were times where I went home and I was like, what am I doing? Because I loved my jobs. But I was working like 70, 80 hours a week. I had 3 jobs. That's not a life.
I had the same story, and that's when I quit my life and left the United States as well.
And I told my parents, and that was a very interesting process. And when I questioned it, the thing that just popped up was, if I don't go, I'll never know. And I don't want to look back at my life and think about that period and wonder. And so if I go and it doesn't work, then I can move home. But otherwise, I'll go and I will start a new piece of my journey. And that's when it was a full head-on dive, and we were working two retreats a month. From there, it was like just pure dedication, because I saw its power, and I saw the gifts and the healing. And so then I started doing tons of dieta work. I've done 16 dietas.
And so for those who don't know, what is a dieta?
So dieta, a very simple breakdown of dieta, is when you go into a very secluded time and space within yourself, a very clean space. You're eating very simple. You're eating once or twice a day, very clean, simple foods. And you are ingesting that plant, and you are every plant has its own individual spirit. When they talk about the earth angels, what do you think the earth angels are, other than the plants that are living and breathing here on Mother Earth, who are giving us our food, giving us green grass to sit upon, giving us shade, nurturing us, helping us build our homes. The earth's angels are the plants. At least that is my personal opinion.
Yeah.
That's the way that I see them, and that's the way that I work with them. They are my angels. They're my earth's angels.
Yes. So when you're in ceremony, you have every single plant that you've dieted by your side.
Yes. And every plant brings different gifts, and it brings different healings. And so when you go into dieta, it's you communing and bringing the spirit and the essence of the plant with you, into you. And that plant goes in and it takes you. It takes you into the deep wounds. It takes you into the deep healing. It takes you into processes that you had no idea that you even carried. But it's not only working within this lifetime, it's working within all of your lineages. Yeah. It's working within all of your existence, because we do exist in all of these time frames at that same time. And so dieta, it's a very sacred thing, and it's not to be abused. It's to be very respected, because you're dating that plant. When I diet, I always look at it as if this is like I'm dating this plant. And so for that period of diet, like, we're dancing together, we're singing together. When I sit down and I eat, I serve my plant a little plate of food.
Yeah.
Like, how would you, so you're creating a very sacred bond. And the more that you can give to that plant, the more that that plant will give to you. But it's a much deeper process, and it's a very sacred, very, very sacred process. And I have been through such deep transformation in dietas that I can't even, I do not know how to, in words, express the gratitude that I hold.
And so with these dietas, how else have you, what else, tell me about your teachers and some of the spaces that you've worked in, because you started this path about 9 years ago, right?
Yes.
Amazing.
So one of my main teachers is Nacho from La Pacha, and luckily I found him pretty much in the first beginning years. So what a gift. And I found a medicine man who not only walks the walk, he walks the walk and talks the talk. When you watch the way that he lives his life, he treats his wife, he treats his children, he works with his community, such integrity, amazing integrity. And so most of my path and my process within the ayahuasca field has been with him. And I have a beautiful maestra here who is of the Chavin lineage, who I'm always continuing to grow even more with her. Because just when you're like, oh, I got it, then she's like, oh, wait, no. Here's the next level. Here's the next level, because we're always students and we're always teachers.
And this maester from Chavin works with Huachuma, yes? Yes. Beautiful.
And then also a really beautiful Peruvian family that I've sat with, I don't even know how many times. I have the utmost respect for them.
Beautiful. Yeah, just to share a little bit about, my connection with Avalon. Avalon is one of the very, very, very few people I trust with this medicine. I've personally hired her for private ceremonies, for my own dietas with Rose and Huachuma. And yeah, it's just so obvious that she is just a wonderful woman in deep service to this medicine. She's so attuned with the wisdom and the knowledge. And as you can see right now, and as you will see and experience in ceremony with her, you've just received the deep respect and honor of the plants, and that's something that, what a gift,
Medicine is never a space to set in or to go into with any form of ego.
No. And I can tell you right now, Avalon's got none of it.
And it is never you giving that healing. It's you holding the space for the master teacher to be going in and doing his work, and you listening to him and him guiding you and you helping guide. You should, ego within medicine is one of the first poisons that you can introduce to yourself.
Agreed. Yeah. What do you think is the biggest teaching you've received from Huachuma?
Humility.
Can confirm. Grandfather keeps us humble.
He's such a beautiful teacher, and his essence is so much. He is the divine masculine heart, and I learn from him every time. There's always something new, because every situation is different. Every group, every person, every alignment with the stars is different. And so to say that there's one big master teaching would be limiting the gifts that he gives to those who are willing to listen and to those that are willing to heal. Because if you're not willing to do that, he's just going to show you that same thing over and over and over again.
Yeah.
So I guess one of the biggest lessons that I've learned is to always listen and to always open my heart, and to know that I'm always going to be growing more and learning more.
Yeah, as we all are. That's so beautiful. So next, I would love to welcome into the space Miss Divine Mother Rose. Could you tell me more about her teachings and her healings and the power that she holds?
The rose is the highest frequency plant that exists on this planet, that scientifically they've been able to find. The rose is the closest frequency plant that you can ingest to love. She is so very sacred, and her healings and her teachings are endless. The rose is the embodiment of the divine feminine heart. And the rose has thorns. And in order to go in and blossom and to discover her mysteries, which are manifold, mystery by mystery, pain by pain, understanding by understanding, she unfolds. And her thorns go in. But her thorns go in with the most deep love that you've ever felt. And as she works through the pains, she allows a rose to blossom there. So where that pain once was, she unfolds another petal with each pain. Or with each understanding. Because it's not always pain, it's also just understanding.
Yeah.
Growth of oneself. The rose does very, very deep womb healing. If you have sexual traumas, if you have creativity blocks. And she does very deep mother lineage healing.
Yes.
So not only when you work with her are you healing your womb, you're healing your mother's womb, you're healing your grandmother's womb, you're healing your great-great-grandmother's womb. The rose teaches boundaries, but she teaches you how to set your boundaries in a healthy manner. The rose helps you step into your individual gifts. So she sees within your soul the blossoms that are waiting to be, those dreams that you've waited and wanted to manifest. And she says, here is a beautiful place that I want to grow. And she goes into the pains that surround that, whatever that may be, so that you can blossom into your creative spirit, into your individual talents, because we all have different gifts. And she helps work through deep depressions, deep traumas. She's a very powerful trauma healer. She works through anxiety. Okay, yeah, I was like, wait a minute, have I? And she loves to sing.
Yeah.
She wants the voice to be open. She wants you to express. She is the queen of the hearts. And there is a reason that you see a lot of the beautiful divine goddesses. And what plant, what flower are they surrounded by? What flower are they working with? They're working with the rose. Because she's so incredibly powerful. And there's a difference from working with her blossoms, from working with her stems and leaves, from working with her thorns, and even every color. Every color holds another mystery, another place that she wishes to open up in your life. Every color has its own beautiful gifts. She is so beautiful.
Yeah.
And she's a powerful protector. Because if you notice, you see the rose, and what is she surrounded by? She's surrounded by thorns and a giant bush protecting her. But you have to go through the thorns to build your bush, to allow your blossoms to grow.
Beautiful. Love the rose. So now I'd love to dive into, how do Huachuma and Rose work together? You know, what makes them such a powerful team?
They're a super awesome sauce team.
Awesome sauce team.
I feel so divinely graced that they just kept coming to me over and over and over again until I finally said yes. And what's so beautiful about it is they create a sacred heart energy, because Huachuma is that beautiful, divine, masculine sacred heart energy. He is a king of hearts. Rose is a queen of hearts. And so you're taking two very powerful house masters who are helping. When you work with them together, they're balancing. Huachuma is the pillar. He is that divine masculine pillar energy, because masculine energy is meant to be a pillar for the feminine to dance and to create. He is meant to be that space holder for the rose to blossom. And so he holds it and he opens the heart and he takes you out of your mind so that the rose can go in and dance and create and heal and feel. And they're both beautiful heart holders. And so when you're working with them together and you have him taking you from your mind and into the heart, they hold beautiful energy together in healing. And he allows the rose to blossom, and then he allows you, and he helps to open up the energetic healing that needs to come in. And he allows her to root in. He allows her to really go into those spaces. It's the divine masculine and the divine feminine heart creating a beautiful sacred heart energy.
And what I also love about the two plants is that they grow alongside each other. They grow next to each other.
Yes.
They grow in the same lands, and they both have spikes. You know, a cactus has the spikes and the thorns, and so does the rose. So they both serve as great protectors. And great with boundary work, as you said. Which we could all use a little more of that all the time. Yeah, so another thing I'd love to mention or ask about Huachuma is, how is the medicine prepared? How is the medicine cooked?
Different lineages have different ways. I cook mine for about 3 days. And it's good to be conscious of where your cactus is coming from. If your cactus where is your cactus growing? What is the energy that it's taking in? Is it growing next to plants that aren't going to feed its energy, or is it growing next to roses?
Yeah.
Which is why I work with cactuses from Chavin, because that's where its energy and its lineage is strongest and has been rooted in. And so I'm not going to say all of the way to cook Huachuma, because those are also secrets.
Of course.
Not everyone should be cooking Huachuma,
Right.
nor should they be sitting by themselves.
Yep.
Huachuma opens portals. It's not a space to be sitting once and then thinking that you can go home and start sitting on your own. You need a proper space holder for that. So he's cooked with a lot of love and
prayers, yes.
And prayers, and even based off of the different spines are the different levels of light and dark. that you can go into and release and see and travel into. So he's cooked for a long time, and the rest of how he's cooked is my secret.
Love that. Keep it a secret. Yeah, okay, so to close out, I want to dive into your sound healing. So not only is Avalon a beautiful medicine woman and space holder facilitator with Huachuma, but she's also an incredibly talented sound healer. I mean, this woman channels to realms that are just of the highest frequency of love and light. And so I'd love to get into, what makes your sound healing so special, and where is it coming from?
Okay, so they've evolved over time. What's really interesting is when I first moved here, I still had so many different wounds to work through that I saw the way that I did my sound healings, and they were so different from the way that they do them here that I had so many judgments. Oh my goodness. Like, thorn, 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 thorn. But that was also a beautiful teaching and lesson for me. Lessons. Until it was embodying the way that music and sound works through me. Sound is such a beautiful sacred frequency. Everything is frequency. This rose carries a frequency. Our beautiful cactus carries a sacred frequency. Our skin, our heart, our bodies, our auric fields, this table, everything is frequency and sound. And when I do my sound baths, I work with Rose. And so first I do a deep dive meditation into the rose because I want to call her in very specifically. And I also sing for parts of it, and I don't sing for parts of it. I let the bath and the energy guide me. And then I do light language at the end. And my light language opened up. I thought I was going crazy when it first started happening. I was in medicine, and all of a sudden I would just start being like, blah, 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 blah. And I was like, what was that?
And so where is it coming from? Where's the light language coming from?
So I don't really like to call it light. Well, all right, let me explain it this way. Light language is the new form of how they like to describe speaking in tongues.
Yes.
And speaking in tongues is your soul's prayer. It's your soul's deepest memories. And there's different forms of speaking in tongues. You can speak in tongues for yourself. You can speak in tongues for the healing of someone else, and they're very specific intentions. You can speak in tongues to be banishing lower frequency or dense energies, and there are different tongues that come through and have different frequencies for the energy that you're addressing. So if there's a denser energy that's being worked through, I have tongues that are very strong. And then if it's a prayer that in openness and light, another tongue comes through for that. And so when I speak in tongues, it's very much so connecting with that person's very specific individual prayer, asking them to go into their heart space. What is it that they're ready to let go of? What is it that they want to bring to fruition? And if your fruition is, oh, I want this person to blah, 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 I don't speak in tongues for that. And that's not the purpose. The purpose is to help heal the body, heal the heart, heal the soul, bring in different frequencies. Language, every language has its own codes. Every language has its own downloads. And so I speak from languages of the archangels, from the heavens, from the stars. I speak languages of Mother Earth, of the trees, of the rocks. And so it's very interesting because sometimes different languages come through, because when you work with each person, a different language comes through. And so sometimes a different language will come through and I'm like, oh, this is interesting. Like, oh, hello, beautiful. And then I have the grace of then also bringing that download into myself as I'm giving it to a new person. There's thousands of languages amidst these heavens. And as we all come from different areas, we all carry natural different light codes, different soul memories within ourself. And light language helps awaken the soul memory of your true essence and being.
Beautifully said. Thank you so much, Avalon.
Absolutely.
So is there anything you would like to share with our wonderful guests, the wonderful people watching this video that maybe we didn't cover, or just a loving message that you have for them?
Niri arara tara korokoro sapari ikia totoro norora totokorora tari etia norokoro sapari ikia taranai. Horo no norokoro sapari ikia ro norokoro ototoro norokoi. Hamaro utu huturu ukuru koro saporo ototoro noi. Haimi hayani hoyo okoyu hoi. Hayi hiya hayi hukoro noro otoyini. Haie koro sapa hie ko onoro hoto oto koro satari inire anara otoi. Hamo oko hoko okoro sapai horo no iararia to oi. Hamo koro saporo okoro otonoro oi. Haie naria pari ikiara tatari ikara narahai. May your heart, may your mind, may your soul be blessed upon your path. May you always have the highest guidance of your highest self. May your heart release the pains that it holds so that you may blossom and grow.
And so it is. Beautiful. Thank you so much, Avalon. So for those of you who are watching this video, welcome. We are here for you in the Sacred Valley. If you are interested in coming on a retreat with us to work with the power of Rose and Huachuma, you can find all the information below to contact me, to contact us. And we're really ready to welcome you into this magical experience and have you experience the power of Rose, Huachuma, and the pure majesty that is the Sacred Valley of Peru.
And I hate doing videos. So Sydney's had to pull me tooth and nail because I'm a little hermit on a mountain. So
next step is Instagram. Next step is we're gonna get this woman an Instagram. Obviously, if she wants. But yeah, thank you so much for just coming on and just sharing your heart and sharing your experience and sharing your story. It really is just such an honor to have you in my life and just to have your magic and your wisdom and your healing. I mean, Avalon is personally has supported me so deeply through my own journey with working with Rose and Huachuma, and we're here to do the same for you. So thank you all so much for listening. It's been such an honor. Thank you.
Love you.
Love you.